We'll take a look at what's shaping up broadly globally, as well as what's happened in global markets across last week, as well as how Asian markets have started off this week. Well, US markets on Friday fell on the back of a heightened inflation number coming through 7.5%, as well as the Fed comment subsequent to that. And there was one more small hiccup which came through, is geopolitical tensions are rising. Russia, Ukraine is a matter of crisis at the moment, and that's where a lot of eyes are on. Quickly taking you through to how this week is expected to play out, or the metrics of this week are going to be threefold. One is, of course, the Russia-UK tensions. We did speak about that, geopolitics. Secondly is going to be inflation, and consequentially the Fed action ahead of what is expected to be a very interesting week of trade. Well, oil prices also have gone up, and bond yields have sank largely due to the geopolitical tensions that have escalated. Quickly seeing how US markets responded, the Dow was down around 1.4%. It's down 1% across last week. The S&P 500 closed almost 2% lower, closed 1.8% lower for last week, and the Nasdaq was down over 2.7% in trade on Friday, down over 2% for the week. Even in terms of US futures, well, I will try and stream the live data here. Well, the Dow is absolutely flat. The S&P 500 is down around 5 basis points, and the Nasdaq is down around 15 bips as we speak early this Monday morning. Moving quickly on to Europe. Well, European stocks also closed lower after hawkish comments by the Fed. European stocks were also dominated by the Fed comments subsequent to that inflation number that came through. The DAX was down around 0.5%. The FTSE was down around 0.1%. More tempered loss for the FTSE. The CAC 40 though was down 1.2%. The French index really taking a beating, and the stock 600 was down around 0.6% in trade on Friday. Moving quickly on to how Asia has opened. Well, Asia has largely opened in the red. I look at the Nikkei, it's down over 2.5% in early trade as we speak. The Shanghai is down 0.25%. The Hang Seng is down 1/3%. And the Kospi is also down over 2%. The only index hanging on to some amount of a gain is the ASX 200, which is up around 0.1% in trade. Mind you, the ASX 200 lost around 1%, was the biggest loser on Friday among major Asian indices. So it had lost 1%, maybe gaining back a bit of that. Moving quickly on to commodities on the back of Russian-UK tensions, as we did speak, oil has risen up. It's very close to that $95 a barrel mark. Gold as a safe haven has jumped quickly, and of course that is largely twofold. The reasons for that, the global tensions of course, but also inflation. Inflation is playing out in a slightly more nastier way than anticipated, and that will lead more money towards gold. So gold is currently trading at around $1,860 an ounce as we speak. Well, the dollar index, it loosened a bit before tightening a bit. Now it's at 95.6 as we speak in early trade. The US 10-year treasury yields fell sharply. Mind you, it had breached that 2% mark, and now it had tempered back down to around 1.92%. And before early in trade on Monday now, it's bounced back to 1.95% as we speak. And the Bitcoin, well, cryptos are 2% lower in early trade today. Broadly, Bitcoin is down 2% as pardon me for that. And in early trade today, Bitcoin is currently trading at around $42,000 or just below that mark. So broadly, this is how global markets are looking early in trade on this Monday.